mid-70s, I think, actually.
It's got to be either late or mid-70s, but, like, the makeup effects for that movie were just un-fucking real.
Right.
You know? Yeah, the blood nowadays kind of looks like fucking orange soda at this point, but, I mean, you know, you take that away, and you kind of put yourself in that mindset of, like, oh, I got to be in the 1970s to appreciate this, and you're just like, that's fucking sick. That's really sick, you know? It's like, that's actually pretty disgusting, you know? I mean, shit, most of the George Romero films fucking hold up better than most new shit now.
1979.
1979, okay. No, but I mean, that easily became my second favorite when Buddha showed me that shit. That was fucking... I never knew that movie even existed up until then.
Right.
And shit, I actually went out and bought a copy of it. The next day, I went out and hunting for it, and I bought a copy of it, and shit, I've had that copy for years now. And the infamous, the one fucking scene, and I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm going with this one, the one scene that cemented me to love that fucking movie was the Splinter. Splinter in the fucking eye. That is single-handedly the greatest fucking piece of cinema I've ever seen in my life.
I'm like, scene more cringy too. They did it all fucking slow.
Yep.
It wasn't sped up.
I loved it.
They just even when they finally got to her eye, they still kept it slow, and they're like, "No, we're gonna fucking we're torturing with this image right here."
It was fucking it was the greatest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, I'm sold on this movie. This movie can go to shit now. That scene alone made that movie. That one, and you know, then you got the iconic zombie that's on the front cover of the movie. You know, all of a sudden just like rise on the ground, all like Undertaker style. Then like, God, he looked disgusting.
Because I mean, like, what's it called when it comes to like horror movies that are looking to actually creep you out? Not with gore, but they're actually looking to creep you out. You know, with deaths. Those are the kind of deaths I like, man. Those slow, creep. I like slow with horror. That's how I think. That's how I feel like horror should be. Horror should be slow. You know,
not like how it is now.
It shouldn't be action. You want action packed and fast paced, you go to an action movie. Not to a horror movie.
What do you guys? You know? I don't know if I ever talked to you two about this because, like I said, you guys are like the big fucking horror movie buffs. Like, how do you guys feel about about these PG-13 jump scare fucking fest that they have nowadays?
I can't stand them.
They're fucking terrible, aren't they?
It's not. You know what? The rating doesn't bother me. It's the fact that, like I said, it's the pace. You know, because there's actually from back in the day, there's some fucking good like scary ass fucking PG horror movies from even back in the day, like from 70s and 80s.
Well, shit, if you want my honest opinion, the Return to Oz is one of the creepiest fucking films I've ever seen.
What's it called? Poltergeist was an R movie.
It was 13.
Yeah. And honestly, Poltergeist. I mean, what's it called? There's some parts in there that was like, you know, honestly, psychologically, it's pretty disturbing and shit like that. Yeah. You know. Even though it was R-rated, my biggest example of what I'm talking about, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mm-hmm. Everybody swears to God, like when they rethink about it, that movie's the most goriest movie on earth. And then when you really rewatch it, there's not a lick of blood in that whole fucking movie. Psychologically, it fucks with you though.
No, it's one of the most psychologically disturbing fucking pieces of film I've ever seen. And again, it's great.
They do it, and they pace it just right. They do it in a slow, creepy pace. That's a horror movie. Horror movies are supposed to attack your emotions.
That's what I love. That's what I love about old horror movies because it wasn't back then. It seemed like it wasn't about trying to like get that cheap scare.
Yeah.
You know, it was about hey, we're gonna make this fucking hour and a 45-minute flick, and we're going to fucking torture you, and we're gonna give you a sense of dread that think that none of these characters are going to live through this ordeal.
Right.
That the bad guy is finally going to win, and that's what creeps people out with a lot of these old horror movies.
Yeah, but what's it called? Like
people don't like the fact that the bad guy is gonna win. Nobody likes that.
No, what's it called? Like that's my biggest thing with. And I agree with you. That's my biggest thing with most modern horror movies now. Is just like they're looking for that cheap scare or they're looking for that gore fest scare. Mm-hmm. You know, because that's what they want.
With the fucking Saw movies.
Yeah.
Saw got
the Conjuring movies, man. The fucking possession movies. That's another one.
What's the newest film that's coming out now? Was it called the Keep Out of the Dark or something like that?
Lights Out.
Lights Out. I'm like, oh great, another fucking jump scare movie. Whoop-de fucking do.
It's a 90-minute Nine Inch Nails video. That's all. That's what I do. That's all it is,
Going
man.
off my last time on the podcast. I wanna fuck you like an animal.
The Lights Out. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
No,
You gotta
but
be kidding me.
just jumping in real quick. You know what movie scared me when I was a kid?
What's up?
Troll 2.
Oh my god! you want? Okay, if we're gonna talk about this. I gotta get this off my chest. You want to know the one fucking horror movie that scared the shit out of me as a kid?
What's up?
Returning of the Living Dead.
Honestly, that one did too, because that was like the very first
No.
time
Yeah.
I saw a zombie.
I ain't gonna lie.
No,
that did
and
me
this is
too.
what fucked me up about it. I was watching this movie. I watched this movie with my grandpa Richie, and this is my mom's dad. And he was a weird guy, but he was fun as hell to fucking visit. He would always show this, and that's where I learned like movies like Yellow Submarine, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like he watched a lot of weird shit, and I liked a lot of stuff. I don't know have you guys ever watched a movie called Rock and Rule, or even heard of it?
I've heard of it,
I've never
yeah.
seen it though.
It's really corny given the timeline now, but it's a decent little like animated. It's almost kind of like Heavy Metal without the gratuitous nudity and boobs.
Word.
But anyway, I remember him showing me this movie, and it was Return of the Living Dead, and I'll never forget. And I never forgot it when I was a kid. The fucking bloody ass zombie that was in the basement. That fucking scared the shit out of me as a kid.
What they call his ass now? I can't remember.
I don't even know
They
what
had
the
a
fuck
specific
they called
name for
him.
that fucker.
Like I
forgot
remember,
his name now.
and here's the fucked up part. My grandpa had this creepy ass fucking basement. He would always try to get me downstairs, and after I watched that movie, I would never go downstairs because I was always afraid that there was that fucking red zombie down there, and dude, I would not watch that movie for another. I didn't rewatch that movie until I was like 26.
What's it called? This is why the zombie genre like kicked. Well, I became a fan of it because, like, especially when I was a kid, because I grew up on horror movies. I've told you that before.
Yeah,
It was the only genre that fucking actually scared me.
yeah.
You know what? Because to a point, it hit really close to home. I mean, I dealt with death at an early age,
Yeah.
a lot. You know, what's it called? It started off with, my dad dying at a young age. Then, what's it called? After that, too, like, after my dad died, there was a couple other relatives that died, too. I was at a lot, even as a kid,
Yeah.
like a pure little fucking kid, I was at a lot of fucking funerals and shit like that.
That sucks.
So that kind of sucked. But what's it called? So when I saw my very first zombie movie, it was Return of the Living Dead. And then at first I was like, I was a kid. I was like, what's going on? And that's when it was at my cousin's house. And that's when he told me the whole drift behind it. I was like, why are those people coming out from the grave? Because they're dead. And I immediately thought, oh fuck, what if my dad comes back to eat me and shit?
Oh.
And that's when it started creeping me out. And that's
I'll tell you what. Like I said, I didn't rewatch the movie till I was 26. I could not get over that hump. Finally, I saw the movie at a Walmart for like $5. I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to fucking face this up because I can't be living. I'm 26 years old now. I can't fucking be still scared of this fucking movie. So I pop it in, I watch it, I know that part's coming up. I know he's coming around that corner. I know he's going to make his appearance. And I'm dreading it. And the next thing I know, he makes his appearance. And I'm kind of looking at him like, I laugh at it at this point. But then at that point, I got a whole new appreciation for the movie. Because, I mean, one, it's corny as fuck. It's campy as shit.
Yeah.
And I can overlook that. The fact
But that's what makes it fun.
I know.
Honestly, that's what makes it fun.
But what really stuck in with me was the fact of how you could not kill these fucking zombies.
Yeah, the return series. That's why I liked about it.
Kill them. And it's like, damn well nobody's making it out alive in this fucking film. Nobody's living.
Is that genre of zombie movie? And then what's it called? Dead Alive. You can't kill them.
Yeah, like I mean, you just God.
What's it called?
I love that movie now.
And then later on, because like I said, it was the only genre of horror movies that scared the fuck out of me. And I saw really fucked up horror movies even as a kid and shit. Didn't even make me flinch. And then like later on, when I started getting into my teenage years and started getting more frozen and doing all the other shit that I've told you about that I won't fucking fully say on the fucking podcast show, but, you know, walking down a darker path, you know, and seeing more fucked up shit and doing fucked up shit, I became really fucking robotic and closed.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, it was like, man, at times, like, honestly, you know, in some sense, it made me feel again. Because it was like, man, I need to really feel something right now.
Right.
I don't know what to feel. I'm popping in a zombie movie. So at least I know that I still have fear in me.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Now I'm creeped out. I don't want to fucking
Were you
leave my
guys?
house
Were
for
you,
a day.
were you guys ever? Were you guys ever fans of like Freddy and Jason?
To a point. I mean, like I like Jason a little bit more. You know.
Or even Mike Myers.
Myers, I did. Though, you know, like the later movies, not so much. But I mean, like they were there, and I'm not gonna say I didn't like them, but they weren't my top go-to. Actually, I wasn't even allowed to see the Jason movies for the longest time. Man.
What about?
I ain't gonna lie. I was like I was probably like 9, and my parents dropped my brother and I off.
Yeah.
This is when we were living on base down in Texas. They dropped us off at the on base theater, and they were showing Nightmare on Elm Street 1, 2, and 3.
Damn.
So I got to see like those 3. I ain't gonna lie, dude. I was scared shitless for like probably a month or so after that.
By the time Nightmare on Elm Street, I saw pretty much all of them, and I didn't get restricted from that. The only horror movie I ever got restricted from was Friday the 13th. And by the time, I don't understand. To this day, I kind of even I like rip on my brother about it. I was like, you let me watch all these fucked up movies and shit like that. Friday the 13th.
I mean, if anything, like
for Christ's sakes, I fucking saw Tommy Knockers in Salem's Lot. That shit's okay, but you know what? No, not Friday the 13th. Some fucking guy in a hockey mask killing teenagers. God, no, but...
they're probably because there was sex
watch
in there.
Jacob Ladder. That's rough. A bitch gets raped in a fucking nightclub by a fucking lizard tail.
Are you guys fans of like Hellraiser too?
I love Hellraiser.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's another movie I saw as a little kid.
Me too. And that movie didn't scare me.
That's what I was even getting about the zombie movies and shit. Like, all the fucked up movies I saw, none of them scared me except for the zombie movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, and then going back to my story with Jason and shit like that, but I wasn't allowed to watch Jason and shit. So then, like, my logic at the time, because I was a kid, through a lot of it, I was like, man, Jason must be really fucked up. I was more, like, drawn to it. I was like, oh my god, I gotta watch this shit.
Yeah.
What am I missing? Like, is this gonna scare me more than the zombie movies? Oh fuck, what's it even about? And then when I heard like Jason was like a dead nigga and he came back to life and I was like, oh my god, it is a zombie. I gotta see it even more now. The very first Jason movie I saw, fucking Jason takes my hat. I was 13.
It was on TV the other day.
Yeah.
The infamous walking down the street and just soccer punting the fucking boombox.
No, I saw that one, and then that's what I was mad. I was actually pissed. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
All this hype and the worst thing he does is kick a fucking music box.
And then like the gang gets up and they're like, hey man, where'd you hit our boombox when he turns around? He's like, take his mask off.
I remember what's it called, like, but I remember the movie. What's it called? I don't remember the name of the video store that my brother let me rent it from.
Right.
But it was in like the $5 section. I mean the 5-day section and shit like that. I returned that bitch after I got done watching it. I like grabbed it, walked to the fucking store, and returned it. And I was pissed. I was like, I want my fucking money back.
This is fucking trash.
Bullshit. I'm so mad.
I should go tell them that I want my money back for the Suicide Squad. But I know I'm not going to. I'm not going to be that
I
guy.
was so mad. I like it now because I've accepted Jason for what it is. But when I was a kid, oh god, I fucking hated it, man. What brought me back to the franchise finally was Jason Goes to Hell.
I like that. That was like one of my favorite Jason movies.
That's when I was like, okay, maybe it ain't all bad. And then that's when I gave the rest of the Friday the 13th a try and shit like that. And I liked it and stuff. Yeah. I mean, but I also had to accept it for what it was. It's the pop culture version of a horror movie. Mm-hmm. And it's a slasher flick. It ain't a horror movie. It's a slasher flick. They're different genres within even in the horror.
I can safely say the last, and me and my brother agree with this. The last good slasher flick they had was Scream. Scream was like that last good slasher flick. I don't know if that's debatable with you too.
Yeah, it is for me. I mean,
I'm not a big.
You're not a big Scream fan?
I'm not a big Scream fan.
Because to me, it's like what I said earlier about with Jason. It's the pop depiction of what it's like. It's a lesser known movie, but it's called Hatchet.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Check that out. That's actually
Okay.
pretty good.
I don't know though. I mean, I don't know what it is about Scream that I liked. You know, I think it was probably because it became like it was supposed to be like that. It was kind of like the Deadpool of horror movies. It's like it's self